and then boom, the reimbursement. So I sent her the bill. 5 minutes later, a review comes in. 1-star review. What's up? It's your host, Kev B. Mr. Believe of the Believe in Yourself podcast of Believe in Yourself Insurance and Investments. This is going to be the Turo Quick Tips, and we're going to be dropping them each and every Sunday. So tune in to our YouTube channel every Sunday to catch these quick tips that'll help you on your journey in becoming a Turo Power Super Host and growing your rental car business. This video is brought to you in part by Get Upside. Get some cash back on your next full tank of gas. Peace. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kev B. Mr. Believe is back with another video with your Turo tips. Now today what we talking about, earlier I told you guys about a few weeks ago, we spoke on a little bit about maximizing your profits and how you do that. Now today I'm going to reiterate that and go back over it a little bit, but I'm also going to add a little bit of a story. It's not a story to scare you away, but to show you just the different things that happen on Turo, man. Like I said, I want my channel to be raw, real, and uncut. It's going to be real life stories, real situations that I've been through. I've been doing Turo now for about 3 years now. I think going on 4 years. And there are some horror stories, but nothing that made me ever want to stop doing Turo. So, maximizing your rents. Most of the time when you're doing Turo, obviously the days that are going to be most frequently booked are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Those 4 days are your days that will be that you'll have the most bookings for. Now, I'm talking about in where I'm at is a metropolitan area. We're talking about a large city. I'm in Miami, so we have 3 counties. I'm actually located in Broward County, which is about 15 miles outside of Dade, and about 30 miles outside of Palm Beach County. So I'm in a sweet spot. I'm right in the middle. So if you're in another metropolitan area, maybe similar to Miami, I would say like a LA, maybe like a Atlanta, because it's a big city, a lot of people travel there a lot. You have a lot of foreigners that come there. Atlanta's a hub. So I'm pretty sure you get a lot of international flights and things like that come in. So your busiest days will be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Now, what do you do with the middle of the week? Those days are the slowest when you're talking about getting bookings as far as Turo. When you get on the platform, you'll notice that. So what I do is these 2 tips that I do to increase the bookings that I would get during the weekdays. It's all of your trip preferences. When you go to your trip preferences, they have a section where you can choose, number 1, the duration of your trip. You want to set your duration length to any length, meaning that they could rent it for 2 hours or 1 month. You don't want there to be a restriction on the length of the trip or minimum. You want it to be any as well. You don't want there to be a restriction on how many days they rent. So when I first started Turo, I had a minimum of 2-day rentals. But sometimes you get in that situation where you'll have somebody rent, let's say from a Thursday, and then they'll drop it back off on like a Tuesday morning. Then your next rental isn't until like Friday night or Friday afternoon. So you got the rest of Tuesday. Sorry about that. It was a little fly that got up in here. So you have the rest of Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday. So normally if you have a 2-day booking, they got to rent it in between those 2 days. And usually during the week, I've noticed that there's a lot less 2-day rentals. So if you have to make somebody rent it for 2 days, sometimes somebody may only need it for a day and a half because it's just the middle of the week. And what I notice is the demographic of people who rent cars during the week is usually people who have to go to work. So you'll get a lot of local renters that are looking, maybe their car's in the shop and they just need to go to work for maybe a couple of days, 1 or 2 days here or there. So they're looking for an economically affordable car that they can rent for a short period of time. So I set my trip length to shorter than to make it any. So I have any on my length and any on the shortness of the trip. So it could be an hour to 2 months rental. That's number one. Number two, what you want to also do is in between. Now I only do this if I have back-to-back bookings. And I don't mean back-to-back as in when a car comes, it goes out. I've had those where I've had a car rented. It comes back maybe Monday morning, 6 a.m. Then it goes back out noon the same day. Not those. What I mean is a previous example where I spoke of and I said you may have somebody who rents it from Friday to Tuesday and then somebody who rents it out again from Friday to Monday or something like that. So you have these middle of the week days. So what I do to now make my car more attractive is I reduce my daily rate. So on a normal day, the car I'm driving right now is my Sonic. On a regular day, I have this baby rented for $35 a day. On those in-between trips, when I have a back-to-back booking, meaning it's already booked this weekend and next weekend, but that middle area is where I'm looking to pick up a couple of extra dollars. What that does, I turn it down. I go from $35 and I bring it down to $30 a day. Because what that's going to do is make your car pop up in the search a little bit higher, especially because, like I said, the demographic of people who are renting in between those times are usually people who are local and just looking for something to get them from A to B in between the time when their car is down, or sometimes they don't have a car and maybe they're a day worker and they picked up an extra gig or anything like that. So you want to make sure that you drop the rate. So first you're gonna make sure that your days are reduced. You'll drop the rate, and what's another thing I do? So I drop the rate. I reduce the amount of days that they can rent it for, so they can rent it for. I've had rentals for 12 hours, but you'll still. Good thing about Turo is they'll give you that day rate, meaning if I book the car from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., it's technically 12 hours. You'll get paid for the full day. But if I rent it from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. the next day, you'll get paid for 2 days. That's what I like about it. So if you got somebody who's renting for a day and a half, you'll get the 2-day rental. And I've had a back-to-back rental where it was technically rented for 3 days, but I got paid for 4. How does that happen, Kev? Let me tell you this. So they rented the car from Monday and they brought it back Tuesday afternoon. Monday morning, Tuesday afternoon, that's take a day and a half, you get paid for the 2 days. Then somebody else will pick it up Tuesday evening and drop it back off, you guessed it, either Wednesday night or Thursday morning, another 1.5 days. So between, I would say, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you've made 4 days of payments in 3 days. That's another little caveat you'll get there. So by doing that, you open yourself up to more possibilities and more rentals. And I didn't think it would work at first because I saw this on another YouTuber made this tip, and I tried it, and it actually works. So I noticed that most of my cars, before I was doing this, they were averaging about, like this car right here, I would say was averaging about $600 a month. That's just being rented weekend after weekend after weekend, 4 weekends in a row. It usually does about $150 a weekend, depending on how long, Thursday to Tuesday, Wednesday to Tuesday, those things. And I would average about between $600, give or take. Once I started doing the 1-day bookings in between, not restricting it, but taking off the restrictions, allowing for the less than a day bookings and back-to-back bookings and things like that, it went from $650 to $700, $750 on average by making that tweak right there. So that right there helps to maximize the profits. Now I'm going to get into the story. See, I got this story, man, about this person who I had that rented my vehicle. And the one thing I want to tell you guys, you cannot, as a host, you want to do everything in your power to make sure that your guest has a good experience. Sometimes things are out of your control. Unforeseen circumstances may occur, and you may drop the ball here or there. But for the most part, if you do certain things and you set certain milestones or markers that you do for every trip, for the most part, your car should always be in a situation where you get a good deal for, or able to get, good ratings. You want to make sure it's always clean on the inside, nice and vacuumed, washed on the outside, and a full tank of gas. Be as responsive as you can to the guests and answer every question that you can. Be courteous and be polite. I do 99% now, 99% contactless pickups and drop-offs. It just makes it easier for me, I can't always be there, and it makes it difficult. We have to have somebody there. And after COVID, it was just more convenient that way. So I had this one rental come in, this booking. It was for one day, one of those in-between days. Come in, it's a young lady came, she rented the car. It was good. She came, she picked it up. Then she had to extend the trip twice. So rather than renting it just for 12 hours, she had it rented it for 12 hours. Meaning she picked it up. No, I think it was one full day. So she picked it up in the morning, was supposed to bring it back the next morning. Whatever happened, she said she wasn't able to, so she extended it to bring it back in the night. And then she had to extend it again to bring it back the next night. So it turned into a 3-day rental. Fine, dandy. I did my part, made sure the car was clean, washed, everything. You know what I'm saying? She even gave me a 4-star review, but left no reason why. So what I like to do sometimes, when I feel as though I've given the best service, if I don't get a 5-star, I'll ask them, what could I have done to improve to get a better ranking? No response. So the same girl rents my car a week later. This time, she tries to, so I have certain parameters in place. When you pick up my vehicle, when you get to the vehicle, I have 2 rules. You must upload a photo of your driver's license so I can verify the birthday. Second, take a selfie next to the vehicle so I know that it's you, number 1, and you're at the vehicle, number 2. This morning, a week later, she sends me the photos that she took the previous week. Said, she calls me. Hey, I uploaded the photos with an attitude. Hey, I uploaded the photos. I need the key. Said, who's this? Because she called me from a number that wasn't attached to her account. So I'm like, I don't know who this is. Yeah, who is this? Yes, this is the girl that's supposed to be renting a car. I'm right here. I sent the photos. Boom. I said, okay, give me a minute. Let me check. I pull up my phone. I go into the photo. I look. I say, that's an old photo. Can you upload can you please upload one that's up to date? I just like to do my due diligence. I've had problems in the past, so can you just do that? Oh, well, I wish you would have said something like that. And she just went off on me. If you know what I mean, I could cancel the trip right now. Cancel right now. I'm like, hey. All I need is a photo. I don't have my phone. My phone is all. I got to be next to Wi-Fi to do that. But I'll do that. So you know what I said? I said, you know what? No problem, ma'am. No problem. As long as you get the key. I'll give you the passcode, because it just so happened as I was leaving for work, I saw her pulling up. So I knew it was her, but I just wanted, people got to follow the process. So from there, I was like, hey, I sent her a message after I got her the code, got a situation, said, hey, I'm just doing my due diligence. I just want to make sure that you understand. Well, I didn't have a problem with you per se, but there's a certain process that needs to be done before I just release the key to anybody. I don't want to have a situation, and I explained it to her. She said, oh, okay, yeah, fine. Should have knew. So it's time for her to return the car. She extends it from the time, the same thing she did the week before. She extends the car, but for like maybe 12 hours, supposed to bring it back in the afternoon, because I had another booking, so she couldn't really extend it as far as she wanted, I'm assuming, because I had another booking afterwards. Which is another thing you need to do. Make sure that you have in between bookings and your trip preferences, that you give a good enough buffer. In between my trips, I had it at 3, I moved it to 4 hours. Just in case if somebody's late, like this lady was. She was late by almost an hour and a half, which really put me in a pressure cooker to get the car ready for the next person, because she brought it back, gas was empty, the car was dirty. So it was a couple of things that I needed to get done. Had she brought the car back with a full tank of gas and clean on the inside, it would have been a quick turnaround. But she didn't. So she proceeds to bring the car back. Number one, she brings it back about an hour late. Then she does not fill up the gas tank when she was given the gas tank full. So I send her a message. I say, hey, things happen. I didn't charge her for the late fee, but, I charged her for the gas. And I kind of felt like she was a little attitudey about it. It was like she had like a little attitude, because I saw her when she dropped the car off. And it just seemed like she had an attitude for whatever reason. I just really didn't understand why. So she was messaging me and stuff, like she was coming in. Let me go back a little bit. So she was like, yeah, I'm running late. There's a lot of traffic. I said, well, I need to make it here because there's another rental after you. But, I'm here, don't worry. She returns the car. After I send her the reimbursement amount that she needs to reimburse me, it was like almost $30 for the reimbursement. Gas prices skyrocketed. And the way Turo does it, you get the reimbursement plus $10 because they charge you, for my time. Like, you're supposed to return that gas. So it was like almost $20 to fill it up, and then boom, the reimbursement. So I sent her the bill. 5 minutes later, a review comes in. 1-star review. Now, this is not the first time I've gotten a 1-star. Sometimes things happen. Like, I've had my cars break down sometimes, AC go out on me. Different things happen. Mechanical issues happen. So like I said, you're not going to be able to please everybody. But then there's certain people that's going to try to give you a bad review out of spite because of. And I've complained to Turo about this. One of my biggest things is like, certain guests give reviews just because they feel bad or they're upset about a situation, and it doesn't really reflect on the vehicle. They're just making stuff up, and it happens to me before. And when I first got on the platform, they used to be really good about removing those bad reviews. If you had some documentation to show and prove that that's what they did, you'll be fine. But in this case, I had a situation where it was a situation like that, and Turo said, we've changed our policy. Like, we just want it to be there, and it's all about the guest's experience. So, at this point, I was upset, but I wasn't too upset because I kind of knew it was coming. This is what she proceeds to say. She says, oh, he was so difficult giving me the key. First thing she says, I rented this car. This is my second time renting this car. So why would you rent a car the second time? That's why it's like, Turo, I feel like sometimes they just got to know, like, this is rubbish. Why would you rent a car the second time if the first time you got it, you had a horrible experience? Obviously you didn't, because you gave me 4 stars. But now it's a 1-star. The first thing she mentions, oh, he gave me so much hard time to get the key. Really? I gave you a hard time to get the key. You just didn't follow the rules. You try to come here and show me an old photo, like, I don't know. Maybe you trying to set me up, send somebody to go steal the car, woo, boo, boo, and say, oh, no, they stole it. I don't know. 2, this is what they say. Oh, and the car was dirty on the outside. I'm like, wow. Dirty on the outside. The morning that she came to pick up the car, it rained. All my cars are vacuumed and clean on the inside. So you said the outside of the car was dirty. It was raining. Didn't take that into account. How am I going to wash a car when it's raining? We're in South Florida, for Pete's sake. I wash it when I can, but if it rains, I can't do anything about that. So 2 things that she mentioned right off the bat. I'm like, wow, really? Here's the kicker, what she says. The car needs a lot of service. The brakes are bad and the suspension is horrible. Wow. I find that hard to believe because the car just came from the mechanic and got serviced, the brakes were done, and the suspension has already been checked and fixed. It's been done. So at this point, I'm thinking, somebody rented the car after you, they gave me 5 stars. Rented the car right before her, gave me 5 stars, and had no mechanical issues. But you, who rented the car a week prior, gave me 4 stars. Now all of a sudden, I get 1. 1? I was frustrated. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I responded to her, and I couldn't even. They give you a limited amount of response, man. I was gonna write a whole damn story. I wanted to explain everything. I think next time I'm gonna be a little bit more strategic because I was kind of upset and I was just typing like but I had to pull back a little bit. But the point of the story is to let you know, like, do the best you can to provide the best service you can at all times. That way, when the chips fall where they fall, you know you did your best. And I didn't have to tell myself, you can't please everybody. I was probably mad for like 5 minutes. Then I got over it. But sometimes, like you can tell, like every time I think about it, it just bothers me a little bit. Like, why? I don't understand how people think in their mind. Like, oh, I'm going to F you up. I'm going to give you a 1 star. Like, who does that? Like, what do you get? What do you get for that? What do you get for that? You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there. So at the end of the day, you want to always make sure you provide the best customer service. And just to really go touch back on the points that we touched on earlier, you also want to make sure, if you want to maximize these profits, reduce your trip preferences is key. Make sure you allow trips from any length. At any length, make sure that you reduce your daily rate in between bookings. Now, if you don't have a booking coming up, leave the rate the way it is. Allow for Turo's automatic pricing to price you properly to get you booked. Only change the price in between bookings. That way you can knock out those days that normally would have been dead and get some bookings going in that process instead. Trust me, it's going to work out for you. Once again, click the link in the bio, get some cash back on your next full tank of gas, man. I'm Kev B, Mr. Believe, out.